Chiefs in this room know that when their communities trust the police, we can solve a hell of a lot more crimes a hell of a lot faster. I'm going to continue to call on Congress to pass the George Floyd Policing and Justice, the Justice and Policing Act, so we can make police reform the law of the land.
Saturday marks 4 years since the murder of George Floyd. Since that crime, partisan disagreements here in Washington have stalled the efforts to pass national police reform legislation. Back in 2021, the then democratically controlled House passed the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act. But that legislation has stalled in the United States Senate. Our Taurean Small joins us now from George Floyd Square in Minneapolis. Taurean, be so kind and walk us through what this House-passed George Floyd Justice and Policing Act would do and its problems in the Senate.
Major, I think the biggest component of that bill would be to take a look at how accountability is really focused in policing. A lot of, and this is a sticking point for Republicans, a lot of Democrats are looking to target qualified immunity among officers, so they're looking for provisions through legislative action in order to do so. This bill would also require federal law enforcement agencies to require body-worn cameras. They would also provide incentive and even some penalties for local and state law enforcement agencies if they don't also buy into making sure that all of their officers are equipped with body-worn cameras. But again, this major sticking point with Republicans, which is why we've seen efforts or progress on that bill stymied, is Republicans aren't looking to change what is now in place, which is qualified immunity for many law enforcement officers around the country.
And Taurean, remind our audience what qualified immunity is, why police departments want to keep it, and why Republicans are in general siding with them.
It's insurance that when police are the target of complaints or issues by members of the community, that they won't necessarily be targeted directly through civil action. So police departments, the city typically is who would pay out in these criminal or civil complaints from members of the communities to police departments or law enforcement officers. There again, qualified immunity, going after qualified immunity would, in Democrats' minds as they look to move forward with this legislation, would make sure those who are at the center of this misconduct are held accountable.
Right, so the difference would be without qualified immunity, there might be personal financial liability for an offending officer. As it stands now, there is only liability that is paid for and financed by the city or entity representing the city, correct?
Correct. And it goes beyond that too. I mean, this is just another plea for or play at making sure these officers are held accountable. Typically, what I've been hearing neighbors say is that when there comes to a police or officer-involved shooting, a lot of officers are placed on paid administrative leave, sometimes administrative leave, and then the fear there is that even if the department internally finds them guilty of some type of misconduct, they could then leave and go to another force. Holding them accountable financially, but also ensuring that there is some type of protection where that record would follow them is what they're looking to come through in this bill as well.
And the debate will continue in Washington. Taurean Small joining us from Minneapolis. We thank you.